My fellow Americans, I've brought you here today to speak to you about the novel Come Closer by Sara Gran. Get over here, man. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm May. This is Arsenic Dealer. I deal in arsenics and arsenic products. This book has a lot of praise behind it. The top byline here is a quote from Paul Tremblay, who wrote the book The Cabin at the End of the World. Here, he calls it a perfect horror novel. The book is called Come Closer by Sara Gran. There are many interesting things going on in this book, but I don't necessarily think that I liked it very much. I hate to say it, but we'll get into that. There's also a quote here on the back by a writer I actually really love. Less Than Zero is one of my favorite books of all time. Bret Easton Ellis has written here, hypnotic, disturbing, and written with such unerring confidence you believe every word. I kind of wonder if he read the same book that I read. I finish books even when I don't like them. I don't mind struggling through something because I'm typically waiting for something to occur. I'm going to explain a couple things here. First and foremost, this book is about a woman who becomes possessed by a demon, a monstrous demon. I read this book in a couple of hours, and I found it painfully option A. So what I mean by that is there are ideas. There are three kinds of ideas. The first is there are ideas that like just about anybody could think of. Then there's option B, which is like there's ideas that like half the people would come up with. It'd probably make a lot of people be like, oh wow, I hadn't thought of it that way or whatever. And then there's option C, which is to say something more outside of a person's periphery. Each writing style has its own validity. Commercial writing would not really benefit much from like option B stuff, right? Because like we're not really wanting a commercial to like reimagine reality for us, right? But then, you know, option C can usually be wacky and funny, where option A is more expected. So in this circumstance, okay, option A pleases, I feel like, no one, because this is the kind of story we've heard told time and time again. And not only have we heard it told time and time again, we've heard it like this before. It comes across, don't get mad, it comes across a little less than researched. Maybe not understood as deeply as maybe I would have liked. I feel like my biggest problems with this book really come down to the fact that the second half of it is almost barren of content, of meaningful content to me. Okay. I feel like this book is extremely modernist, and it's also extremely genre. But if it's going to be both modernist and genre, then I would love it if, you know, like if it just took just a stab at any old weird thing, just anything that isn't expected. I mean, if I was to pitch this book to you as, you know, Sylvia Plath is possessed by a demon, you know, it still wouldn't be as good as The Bell Jar, right? So I don't feel like there's an awful lot of wit in here. I'm not in love with the writing style. I'm not in love with the overall body of the work, what it is supposed to be as a story. And I also just feel like there was like simultaneously too much and not enough. I wanted this book to be either shorter or longer, and it happens to just kind of be like right there in the middle. Now, I know a lot of people really like this on TikTok right now. I've heard, and also if you ever go into a bookstore, if you go into like a Barnes & Noble, you're going to see this book conveniently piled up with like every other book that people on TikTok are reading right now. No problem. You read what you want to read. Enjoy yourself. That said, I guess I like even on in terms of genre fiction, I'll take Womb over this any day. I'll take Womb over this any day. I just talked about Womb. If you haven't heard, it's just a messed up book, but the choices that it's making are just like, maybe my bar is too high, but the choices it's making are just so otherworldly compared to here, where it's just like, man, if I was possessed by this demon, I would be bored of this demon. I'd be like, come on, do something. You know, I'd be like, come on, brother, hurt me a little. Shit. It just comes across very, very banal and empty, which frustrated me to no end. And I think that my biggest problem here is that I'm not like 16. If I was 16 and I read this book, I'd be like, whoa, I've never read anything like that before. But at my ripe age of nearly 33 now, I have read books like this my whole life, and I don't know if I've ever liked them. So maybe I just need to stop trying to read these books. But basically, I'm not trying to dunk on it. I think a lot of the problems come down to two things. Thing number one is what it is. And thing number two is how it is. You know, the why might be fine. You know, and when is currently working for it. I mean, it's hitting the TikTok crowd right in its heartstrings. But for me, I'm not convinced. I didn't like it very much, and I would love to see maybe like a bit more of a mean streak in the future. I don't know. That's just me. It's ironic, I think, that like someone like Bret Easton Ellis will be like, oh, this book is really good, you're gonna like it. But then like if you read Less Than Zero, it's like written like as a death nail of modernism. It's like the total, like American Psycho, in my opinion, in a way, right, is like the last great work of total modernism in literature. And it's great because it exposes the inherent lie in modernism, which is that if we go into someone's psyche and we're experiencing their stream of consciousness, moment to moment existence, we might not learn anything at all, and we might even leave hating the world more than when we went into it. And you know, I think that after that, for me, a lot of more modernist fiction has just never resonated with me after that, because I think that some part of my like ego here was shattered in some way by reading American Psycho. And I mean, I read it when I was very, very young. So, I mean, I was probably like 17 or 18 when I read it, but I think that set me on a very specific track. And I just feel like you go from this to Bret Easton Ellis, and then you never look back. But you never go from Bret Easton Ellis to this. It doesn't even compare. It doesn't even compute. So that's my take on the book Come Closer by Sara Gran. Sarah, if you're listening, no ill will. I am a writer too. Writing is hard work, and I'm sure that you put things in this book that I myself probably can't see. And that's fine. I think that that's mostly true with a lot of young writers these days. Even when I read a book that I don't particularly like, and it does happen with some regularity, I I tend to try to be lenient. I don't review on Goodreads. I'm not really like a 5 stars or whatever kind of person. So nuance where nuance is due. But that said, if we're talking about me, I don't think I like this very much. I don't think I care about it. And that's been me. Thank you for watching. Consider liking, subscribing, donating a kidney or something. I don't know. I haven't thought about the outro really at all. I'm still working on this YouTube channel idea. It's kind of new to me. We'll be back with more very soon. I'm always reading and I got more to say. So thanks for watching, and don't be mad at me, please.